The Trump administration planning a new mission to target drug cartels.
Breaking news at this hour, the Justice Department announces results from what it calls the largest international operations.
We're finally treating the cartels as the core national security threat.
Houston was still waking up when federal analysts discovered a pattern buried deep inside airport cargo logs. Something so precise, so mathematically perfect, that it didn't look like cartel behavior at all. It looked engineered. For months, DHS investigators tracking narcotics shipments across Texas noticed a strange anomaly. While seizures at ports and border checkpoints fluctuated unpredictably, one airport, a major U.S. international hub, showed zero irregularities. Not a single flagged shipment, no false manifests, no suspicious cargo. That alone raised suspicion. Cartels adapt fast, but not flawlessly. Not without signatures, not without errors. Yet this airport moved tens of thousands of passengers and millions of pounds of cargo every week without a single deviation. Then, analysts saw something impossible. A set of cargo containers marked as VIP courier holdings, diplomatic tier access. Except they weren't tied to any embassy. They weren't tied to any corporation. They weren't tied to any known diplomatic affiliation. And every one of those containers passed through a single restricted area inside the airport. The International VIP Lounge Wing, Level 5. At first, investigators assumed it was clerical mislabeling. It wasn't. A DHS cyber team pulled the security logs. The Level 5 VIP Lounge wasn't just a passenger amenity. It had its own courier room, its own baggage chute, and its own controlled access corridor linking directly to the tarmac. No customs, no TSA, no federal oversight. It was a perfect bypass channel, hidden in plain sight. Inside the encrypted logs, analysts found freight movements timed to the minute, tied to private charter flights, diplomatic passengers, and special courtesy clearances authorized by a senior airport executive. When agents cross-referenced the data with DEA intelligence, the truth hit like a shockwave. The VIP lounge wasn't a luxury space. It was the nerve center of a $780 million narcotics pipeline. What moved through that corridor wasn't luggage. It was high-purity synthetic opioids, packed in diplomatic-style containers designed to avoid inspection across the entire U.S. aviation system. This wasn't smuggling. It was institutional infiltration, engineered with the sophistication of a foreign-backed logistics network. And there was a name attached to it. Buried inside encrypted correspondence recovered from a cartel courier's phone was a single code name: Terminal White Lotus. Cross-matching financial records revealed the codename's trail pointed directly to the airport's global services director, a man with unrestricted operational authority over VIP transit, secure corridors, special passenger handling, and discretionary customs bypass. His signature appeared on dozens of suspicious cargo clearances. Federal intelligence froze. They had seen cartel corruption before, but nothing like this. No guns, no tunnels, no border runners. This was a corporate-level narcotics superhighway protected by airport bureaucracy and disguised as elite passenger service. For federal agencies, one conclusion became unavoidable. The airport wasn't compromised by accident, it was being controlled. The DEA immediately flagged the case as a Level 4 international trafficking threat. DHS upgraded it to a national security breach. The U.S. military's intelligence wing was notified within the hour. Because if criminals were using VIP diplomatic corridors to move narcotics across the United States, this wasn't just a cartel problem. It was an aviation security catastrophe with direct implications for national defense. And the pipeline's center of gravity was sitting quietly inside a polished, glass-walled VIP lounge decorated with marble floors, imported chandeliers, and framed photographs of foreign dignitaries. What no one knew was that beneath the luxury veneer, servers hummed, encrypted couriers came and went, and cash flowed into offshore crypto mixers at a velocity measured in seconds. The VIP wing wasn't a lounge. It was a cartel embassy. 4:02 a.m. A single encrypted message flashed across the federal network. Converge, all units, confirm Level 5 VIP breach authorization. What followed wasn't a raid. It was a precision-engineered federal strike designed to collapse the entire aviation-based narcotics pipeline before it could adapt. The first armored vehicle rolled beneath the airport terminal under the cover of pre-dawn shadows. DHS tactical operators formed a wedge at the service entrance, their boots silent against the concrete. FBI hostage rescue team approached from the sky bridge above, using thermal drones to map interior heat signatures. Inside the lounge, they counted 14 individuals, 3 staffers pacing quickly between back rooms, 2 men carrying what looked like sealed containers, and 1 individual hunched over a computer terminal initiating a data purge. Alerts had already begun. They were out of time. At 4:11 a.m., the terminal's lights dimmed for a split second, just long enough for federal engineers to reroute the lounge's internal surveillance feed. For the first time in years, the criminals inside were blind. Execute, the breach began. A hydraulic ram smashed through the private service door used exclusively by VIP couriers. Agents poured through the smoke-filled entryway, cutting the room into sectors with laser precision. One suspect bolted toward the tarmac exit. He didn't make it. A DHS operator intercepted him mid-sprint, tackling him into a row of leather seats. Another suspect slammed a silver briefcase shut and reached inside his jacket. The response was instant. A controlled takedown, no fatal shots, just enough force to end resistance. Inside the main hall, agents found something no airport passenger would ever imagine. Rows of diplomatic-style crates, false luggage tags, crypto hard drives, encrypted radios, and sealed packages containing high-purity narcotics valued at over $780 million. The VIP lounge wasn't an airport amenity. It was a criminal distribution hub disguised as a luxury service for international elites. But the most explosive discovery came from the server room. FBI cyber agents breached the door and found a technician attempting to wipe the system. They stopped him within seconds and froze the purge. Inside the servers was a fully operational routing network, flight schedules, cargo swaps, diplomatic passenger manifests, VIP courier clearances, and offshore financial pipelines. The evidence was overwhelming. The airport wasn't a victim, it was a gateway. A national-level infiltration designed to bypass every federal checkpoint in the U.S. aviation system, not with violence, but with privilege. And the fallout was only beginning. The moment the Houston VIP lounge went dark, Federal Command realized the raid had triggered something far larger than an airport scandal. Because inside the seized server, agents found a folder hidden behind 3 layers of encryption. A folder labeled Tier 2 Routes, Continuity Plan. And inside it, time-stamped routing files pointed to 3 more international airports: Los Angeles, Chicago, Atlanta. All of them showed identical patterns. VIP lounge access logs with unexplained diplomatic tags, freight transfers skipping customs, crypto payments synced to courier arrivals, staffers with foreign-linked funding. Every airport formed a spoke in a network that revolved around one hub: the U.S. VIP aviation system, exploited as a cartel superhighway. For federal agencies, the truth was devastating. This wasn't a corrupt director. It wasn't a rogue staff ring. It was a distributed infiltration across America's aviation infrastructure, engineered to be invisible, resilient, and camouflaged by privilege. And the criminals behind it weren't panicking. They were adapting. Within minutes of the Houston raid, crypto wallets surged with liquidation attempts. 3 VIP packages at LAX changed status to emergency transfer. Chicago's VIP lounge shut its internal cameras. An Atlanta ground crew member initiated a manual override on cargo tagging software. The pipeline was attempting to reroute itself. It wasn't collapsing, it was responding. Federal Command had a choice: contain Houston or strike the entire grid at once. They chose the latter. 5:32 a.m. Washington, D.C. A secure briefing began inside the White House Situation Room. The Attorney General, DHS leadership, FBI counterintelligence, and U.S. military intelligence advisors gathered around a digital projection of the seized Houston server. The decrypted files showed foreign-linked corporate sponsorships tied to VIP lounge operational budgets, cultural exchange travel grants, and suspicious diplomatic hospitality contracts, with entities routed through Singapore, Dubai, and Mumbai. None of these entities appeared on any U.S.-approved diplomatic ledger. These weren't cultural partners. They were front companies with international financing, systematically embedding themselves inside U.S. airport VIP systems. And the message was clear. Someone with global reach was using the American aviation network to move cartel product undetected. The U.S. military liaison delivered the assessment no one wanted to hear. This isn't smuggling. This is structured infiltration. Within minutes, the president signed an emergency authorization, Operation Sky Haven, a multi-agency, multi-airport federal strike designed to dismantle the entire network before the traffickers could purge their systems. 6:41 a.m., Los Angeles International Airport, LAX. The first strike hit the West Coast. FBI SWAT moved through a side access corridor beneath the VIP terminal, a place normally reserved for private chauffeurs and diplomatic handlers. Thermal drones picked up 3 individuals shredding documents inside a restricted conference suite. Agents breached the room using synchronized charges. Inside, they found diplomatic-style courier bags, encrypted tablets, a half-burned manifest showing outbound routes to Australia and Japan, 11 kilograms of high-purity synthetic powder disguised as medical samples. One suspect attempted to flee through a catering service door. He didn't get far. Within minutes, LAX's Tier 2 pipeline collapsed. But what agents found next was worse. A server file indicating LA's lounge had already received 6 VIP shipments rerouted from Houston less than an hour earlier. The network was trying to shift its weight west. 7:55 a.m., Chicago O'Hare International Airport, Chicago, responded with aggression. When DHS tactical units breached O'Hare's hidden VIP baggage room, they encountered armed guards disguised as airport maintenance workers. Gunfire echoed through the metal corridors. Agents advanced behind ballistic shields. A flashbang detonated, rolling across the polished floor. When the smoke cleared, they discovered crates lined with false bottoms. Inside, bundles of cash wrapped in diplomatic-coded bands, $93 million in currency, 7 crypto ledgers, 21 encrypted radios, and 2 diplomatic-style suitcases containing fentanyl powder. This wasn't mislabeling. It was a fully functional financial hub. O'Hare wasn't compromised. It was cooperating. 9:22 a.m. Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, Atlanta delivered the most resistance. Federal teams stormed the VIP ground-level operations wing only to find automated software already wiping itself. Someone tried to destroy the evidence. A suspect attempted to torch a stack of hard drives in a maintenance closet. DHS agents stopped him before the flames spread. Inside the drives, cyber teams found documents labeled Continuity Corridors, Phase 2. They revealed plans to expand the VIP narcotics pipeline to Miami, Newark, Seattle, Dallas, Fort Worth. This wasn't a 3-city system. It was a blueprint for national aviation infiltration, and Houston was merely the test site. 11:10 a.m. Houston, back at the epicenter. While the multi-city raids unfolded, federal teams continued excavating digital evidence from the original VIP lounge. That's when they found the most alarming discovery of the day. A document labeled Sky Lotus Accord, Foreign Partnership Agreement. It outlined revenue sharing percentages, crypto laundering schedules, diplomatic lobbying strategies, preferred airports for expansion, names of foreign-linked investors, anonymized routing coordinates. The signature at the bottom wasn't cartel. It belonged to a senior executive from an overseas logistics conglomerate with political ties abroad. This wasn't cartel innovation. It was foreign state-aligned strategy merging with criminal distribution. For the first time, federal agencies realized they weren't dismantling a smuggling ring. They were confronting an alliance, a foreign-backed aviation infiltration grid fused with cartel logistics. The implications were staggering. If the U.S. military didn't step in, the network would simply rebuild in another airport, another state, another VIP corridor shielded by commerce and privilege. 1:44 p.m. National Command Center. By the end of Operation Sky Haven, over 290 suspects were detained across 4 airports. $780 million in narcotics were seized. $131 million in cash and crypto were captured. 3 foreign-linked funding channels were frozen. A national diplomatic-linked trafficking plot was exposed. VIP aviation infrastructure across the U.S. was put under federal review. But the true danger wasn't the drugs. It was the architecture, a system designed to reroute instantly, hide behind diplomatic norms, exploit elite travel corridors, bypass every federal checkpoint in the nation. Not a cartel invasion, not a border breach, but infiltration through the front door of America's airports, using luxury, privilege, and access as weapons. For federal agencies, the message was clear. This wasn't the end of the pipeline. This was the moment the United States finally saw it. And the fight now shifted from raids to preventing foreign-aligned criminal networks from embedding inside every infrastructure system in the nation. Stay alert, stay aware. This was only the beginning.